Hey, let's get into it. There's a weight that comes with being listened to. When people trust your words, when they look to you for clarity, when what you say starts to shape how they think, how they live, how they see God, that's not a neutral thing. Um, if you've ever stepped into a moment where you've had to speak into someone's life, a conversation, a small group, a leadership role, maybe you felt it. Um, the quiet realization that this matters more than I thought. Not just by what I say, but how I say it, why I say it. Because words don't just express things, they form things. James 3:1. Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. James shifts here. He's been talking about faith and works, what real faith looks like, and now he turns to speech, to influence, to teaching in particular. Because in the early church, teaching wasn't just a role, it was a position that carried weight. These were scattered believers without established structures, without widespread access to written scripture. I mean, you think about that, the blessing that we have of having the word. They didn't have Bibles on their desks or in their pockets. So the people who spoke, who explained, who interpreted, who led, they carried real influence. And James says not everyone should rush into that. Not because teaching is bad, but because it's serious. That phrase, judged with greater strictness. It's not about condemnation. It's about accountability. It's a higher standard because when you speak on behalf of God, you're not just sharing opinions, you're shaping how others understand Him. And that carries consequences. You see that throughout Scripture. Think about Moses striking the rock instead of what he was supposed to speak to it. It was a moment of misrepresentation. And to God, that really mattered. Or when Jesus warned the Pharisees, not just for their behavior, but how they were leading other people astray. Because their influence amplified the impact, either for good or for harm. And this isn't just about formal teaching, it's about any place where your words carry weight. Parenting, leading, discipling, even casual conversations when someone is listening for something real. But God takes that really seriously. And that's not to discourage us, but it's supposed to ground us. Because spiritual formation isn't just about having something to say, it's about becoming someone whose life and whose words line up. Someone who speaks out of humility, of truth, out of a life that is being shaped and formed by God. Not just rushing to be heard, but willing to be formed first. Here's the question. Where do your words carry weight in someone else's life? And how are you stewarding that, caring for it? Are you speaking carefully or casually? Are your words shaped by scripture or just reaction and opinion? Are you more eager to speak or to be shaped? You don't need to withdraw, but you need to be aware because what we say, it matters. So today, before you step into conversations, before you offer advice, before you teach, just slow down and make sure that God is shaping you first. That we're speaking truth and not just opinion or hearsay. Let God shape you before you try and shape others. That's where it starts. That's my responsibility as well. That's the calling on my life, and to be someone who is being formed uh, actively, daily, apart from the employment piece of it, in my relationship with God, allowing God to form and transform me. Because who I'm becoming matters, and it's the most important thing that I have to offer you. So wherever you find yourself, God goes with you today.